Welcome back to Music Picks and Cinema Flicks. I'm Davey, your host with the most, the beast with the least. And we're sitting by the window today, which is why we have an oversaturation of light. But I quite like it because it brings out the baby blues. And also the horrendous lack of sleep that comes with watching movies until 5 in the morning. So the least we can do today is talk about the greatest film that John Carpenter and Kurt Russell made together. It's, of course, Elvis. I do like Elvis, actually. No, of course. It's Escape, let's be honest. It's that classic film, Escape from New Los Angeles. Sorry. This one will be short for a change, I promise. So you've got your 1981 classic, okay? Nice 4K from Studio Canal, big old fat box with the usual massive booklet, poster, soundtrack, piece of John Carpenter's soul, Lee Van Cleef, Ernest Borgnine, Isaac Hayes, Harry Dean Stanton. It's if you've not seen Escape from New York and you're watching a channel like mine, I don't really know what you're finding in my content. It's all, if you've not seen that kind of cult stuff. 15 years later, they revisit the concept and they do that thing, that very 80s thing, even though it was 96, of we'll make a sequel, but it's really just a remake. But, and this is where I might get a bit of hate, I think this is a bit underrated. Because I think they knew, Carpenter knew, and Kurt Russell knew, come on, we're just doing the same movie again. We're doing this for the paycheck because we're both coming off of some dry spells. Let's parody it. So they take every scene in the original and they make fun of it. And yeah, people like to make fun themselves of things like snake windsurfing with Peter Fonda, or the CG underwater and things. It's intentional. Do you not think that they would have windsurfing, Snake Plissken, and Kurt Russell and John Carpenter wouldn't say that's a bit silly? Come on, guys, give them a bit of credit. And then it's also filled with great character actors. I mean, I mentioned Peter Fonda, but Steve Buscemi's your tour guide through the LA wasteland. Cliff Robertson's in there, Stacey Keach. Any film with Stacey Keach automatically gets a 10 out of 10 in my book, you know that. I've got the world's only Stacey Keach section. So this is the new 4K. Because you want this film to look as wonderful as possible. You don't want an old Blu-ray with an Australian ratings logo on it. I mean, look, even next to each other, it even looks meaner and moodier, doesn't it? But, and because this film was made for kids, they give you stickers. Because kids loved this. I was 11 when it came out, and that's all everybody in the bus was talking about, Hey, have you seen the new John Carpenter movie? Okay, maybe not. We were in that phase of Michael Bay's the greatest thing ever. Have you seen that new film, The Rock? Sean Connery's in there. He's one of ours. Let's do an unboxing of the film that nobody really wants to unbox. It's an unboxing / just taking the plastic off. This is where I have to confess my OCD is so bad that I'm even keeping the hype sticker for Escape from LA. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong John Carpenter film. That's Assault on Precinct 13. Can't really hum the Escape theme. So yeah, so there's your frontage. Same old. There's some package of the package. But high octane action thriller. Well, I suppose. So, I mean, the plot is escape from New York, but in LA. There we go. There's your plot synopsis. Snake is now, I mean, he still looks great, doesn't he? Even though it's 15 years later, he still looks pretty much the same. Good old Snake. Yeah, wow, there's some lovely pictures in here for nothing. Oh, wow. It's falling out. There we go, there's your some cartridge. And then, a lot of effort's going into these discs. Look at the disc art. Isn't that just absolutely gorgeous? You know, I mean, those ratings logos. Yeah, beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Must have taken seconds to come up with. Yeah. So again, on Ultra 4K though, and if nothing else, the film looks good. You know. It didn't have that wonderful white saturation that I'm actually enjoying, you know. This will annoy people, but I'm quite enjoying this Dogma 95 thing. So, I mean, that is literally what you get there, but let's have a look at some stickers, shall we, and some cards. Oh, there we go, it's the Platoxin 7. So, this one's a bit more apocalyptic, so you know what the Platoxin 7 does if you've seen the movie. God, as if I can't reveal what happens in Escape from LA, the United States Police Force sticker. Kids will go crazy for these. Absolutely crazy. They'll be in the playground. Have you got the United States Police Force sticker? And then let's have a look at her. Now, this is where I'm not OCD. See if there's a white band around these and it's not got the branding of the film or the TV show on it. This is what I do. It's alright. If it had said Escape from LA, I would have kept it. But it doesn't. It's a white bit of paper. So, yeah. And then, I mean, that's nothing like, you know, the stuff with Cabby and Escape from New York, is it? And here we go. Dinner, Pliskin. There's Johnny Boy himself. And this is actually a really nice one, look at that. Oh, he's badass. I mean, even in Escape from LA, he's fucking badass, man. Kurt Russell, total dude. Bone Tomahawk is one of my favourite westerns of the past 20 years. You know, it's got that old-timey language, like when he's interrupted by the people telling him that the natives are, you know, causing a bit of trouble. And instead of just, you know, the modern parlance would say, you know, I'm eating my breakfast, don't interrupt. But he says, why are you in my breakfast? Yeah. Who writes that way? Well, the writer of that. So here's our poster. So look, I love the poster, which again, if you've got twins, you'll need to get 2 of these because they'll be fighting over it. In fact, you may need to get 4 because it's double-sided and they will want to, yeah, they will want to have that. And yeah. See, the windsurfing was, you know, that was promoted. That was part of the appeal back in the day. Yeah. So, I'm actually under 10 minutes for a change, so I'm going to call it quits. It'll probably be 10 minutes by the time I do the wrap up. It'll be just over, which for me is like it's like a TikTok video. But yeah, I think it's a tad underrated because to me it takes the elements of Escape from New York, plays with them, twists them, and parodies them. It's not Texas Chainsaw 2 where it's a complete pastiche of the entire concept, or Gremlins 2, probably the best example of we're going to do a sequel and completely rip the piss out of sequels. But it takes every scene and every setup, dials it up to 11 to make it ridiculous, and almost challenges you to say, Escape from New York's ridiculous too then, isn't it? Because it's the same scene, just done a little bit more. a little bit more, but there's practical effects. You saw it when you were younger. Carpenter's reputation was different, you know, so the same plot, same setup, great cast, same director, but different results. Isn't that fascinating? Lightning sometimes can't strike twice, but I don't think they were going for lightning this time. I think they were out to cause an electrical storm of a totally different making, of their own making, that kind of parodied and mocked the genre and their own legacy, which obviously didn't work out because the film, you know, was regarded just as an action film and lost a lot of money. So that was the problem. If you're going to do your sequel as parody, then try and keep the budget down a bit, guys, because you know you still need to make the money back for the execs. However, they rebounded. John Carpenter's next film was Vampires, which was a hit, and Kurt Russell's next film was Soldier, which wasn't a hit, but he became the most expensive, the highest paid actor to do a film that went straight to video at the time. He was, I think it was something like 12 million for that film. So, you know, off the back of this. And then, you know, there's always been the stories, hasn't there, that Escape from Mars was going to be the end of the trilogy. Or Escape from Earth was going to be the last in the trilogy, and that the flop of this led the studio to say, no, we won't do that. Get a rapper. They seem to be popular these days, and that ended up being Ghosts of Mars. I don't know how different Ghosts of Mars would have been if it was a Snake Plissken movie. I mean, it would have been 100 times better just because Snake Plissken would have been in it. But yeah, so, well, let's look at the new 4K of Escape from LA. So, and my brief thoughts on why it's maybe worth a second watch. Well, I'd actually recommend watch Escape from New York, do 10 shots, and then watch Escape from LA. And I think you'll have a much better time with it, because you'll pick up on the humour a lot more, I think. The first film, Escape from New York, is quite dry. You know, I mean, it really is his Eastwood. You know, it's Kurt Russell's Eastwood, not just the vocal performance, but you know, the whole tone is quite downbeat. It is a western. You know, he's been sent into the Badlands. You know, just like we're sending you down to Mexico to take on the Bandidos. You know, it kind of is that, isn't it? It's John Carpenter doing a Howard Hawks premise, but again, this isn't doing that. It's making fun of its own legacy rather than doing something new, which you can mock it for, or just go along for the surf. I mean, they cast Peter Fonda as a surfer. I mean, if that doesn't tell you intentionally they knew they were in on the joke, what does? Anyway, this has been, by my standards, a relatively brief video. We're still nearly 15 minutes gone. Almighty, I'll shut up one of these days. Thanks very much for watching. It's storm up here. I hope it's okay where you are, but regardless, let's be very careful out there. Love and mercy, my dears. Love and mercy.